Alright. Still June 15th. Let's see if we can finish this fucking book. How much more bullshit can she fit into this number of pages? Do you have a calculator open?
I can.
What's 414 minus 360?
54 pages.
There's 54 pages left. She managed to fit that level of infuriating bullshit into 6 pages. How much more can she fit in how many? 54?
Yep.
How much more can she fit into 54 pages? How many more pages of this is gonna just be set up for a joke that doesn't even fucking land? That whole scene could have been 2 goddamn paragraphs. And yeah, Kai continues, like the joke did not land at all because Kai is still just, fine, I'll put the clothes back on. He's not bothered by it at all. It's just badly fucking written. It's also, I don't remember if I mentioned it because we got interrupted by food. It's very fucking creepy that we're supposed to think it's funny that Bashasa is embarrassed to see a child just wearing fully clothed. Ugh. Kai is still a child right now, even if his mind has been accidentally put in the body of a fucking adult. That's still a goddamn child. Why does cat fur keep sticking to the edge of my nose? Now on page 361. Alright, let me read you this. Because it's exemplary of... Not exemplary. This is just an example of. Not exemplary example, but an example of. What I'm talking about, where Kai, despite still being a child in the past at this fucking moment, is just being treated like 100% fully adult present Kai. He says on page 360, very bottom, just leave someone here in case I need help and everyone else can get some sleep, he told Saladel. He expected her to take the order without argument. She had been doing everything else he had told her to do so far. But Saladel said, "No, Fourth Prince, we are your cadre, we guard you." That seemed like a waste of their time. If Bashas is wrong and the legionaries arrive, there's not enough of you. Saladel lifted her brows. From the other soldiers' expressions, he had just said something naive. Saladel said, "It isn't the legionaries we are guarding you from." Ah, Kai thought. That's how adult Kai in the goddamn present, like 60 fucking years after this, would react. This isn't how Kai, who is still a child, should be reacting. But whatever, like, that's just bad writing. It's objectively bad fucking writing. He is still a goddamn child right now. And if Martha Wells is gonna pretend, oh, well, he's not actually a child anymore because he got put in the body of an adult, I'm gonna strangle her. And then there's a line break. Alright, I'm gonna read you the first 2 sentences below this line break because it's very awkward. Kai didn't want to grasp at the first possible solution only to realize later there was a much better way. but sorting through fading, elusive memories that weren't yours was confusing and exhausting. Why are we suddenly referring to us? Just say, but sorting through the fading, elusive memories that weren't his was confusing and exhausting. Like,
What does it say?
but sorting through fading, elusive memories that weren't yours was confusing and exhausting. Like, what if I keep bringing this up. The narrative style is very inconsistent because it's supposed to be a limited third person, but then it will randomly tell us shit like it's third person omniscient. And
In this case, first.
and in this case it's just abruptly referring to yours, the readers. And that's just very weird and awkward. And if this was professionally edited, why didn't anybody say you should just say that weren't his? We're not talking about hypothetical us, the readers, doing this. We're talking about Kai doing this. That's just... I bet if anybody's watching these videos that doesn't write, you probably think these are all nitpicks, but like...
When you're writing
I don't know how to explain to you that when you are writing, literally every single fucking word you choose is done deliberately and with purpose, because every single fucking word is load bearing. Just putting yours here instead of his is just awkward and genuinely interrupts the fucking flow and concentration, because you're just like, wait, no, I'm not doing this. This is about Kai. We're not talking about hypothetical people. We're talking about Kai. And that's just the first two sentences under this line break here. Guess what we gotta put on our arm? Another mark. Immediately following that, in the same paragraph, he came out of his trance twice. Actually, that requires two. Hold on. That requires two of them. I got so distracted by the following one that I forgot the former one. He came out of his trance twice, just to breathe and remember that he was a living being, that this was still him, even if this wasn't the body he had been born with or the body he had been gifted. The first time, Saladel and Sarala, who the fuck is Sarala, were watching him worriedly, and he asked, "What?" Saladel pressed her lips together. Sarala said, "Your face looks like it hurts." That, ... wasn't a surprise. The training, the conscripted exposit, that gets another one. Jesus fucking Christ.
What?
Let me just go back to the start. I will just start reading from under this line break. Are you listening this time?
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Kai didn't want to grasp at the first possible solution, only to realize later that there was a much better way. But sorting through fading, elusive memories that weren't yours was confusing and exhausting. He came out of his trance twice, just to breathe and remember that he was a living being, that this was still him, even if this wasn't the body he had been born with or the body he had been gifted. And I am actually including that as the fourth one. When has he ever missed the body he was born in? Never! Or
He
the...
complained once of you reading out loud of the body being slightly too tall now to what he's used to.
Yeah,
Like
that's
wearing
about
glasses.
Enna. That's not about his original body. He's never expressed anything about that at all. Even if this wasn't the body he had been born with or the body he had been gifted. The first time Saladel and Sarala were watching him worriedly, and he asked, "What?" Saladel pressed her lips together. Sarala said, "Those names are way too similar. One of them starts with an S and the other starts with a C, but they're both pronounced as an S noise. Those are way too fucking similar to read out loud." This audiobook's gonna be shit. Sarala said, "Your face looks like it hurts." That, ... wasn't a surprise, period. The training the conscripted expositors had received had not been kind, even seeing it in these fitful, deteriorating images. fitful deteriorate. So he's apparently sitting here watching memories of the enslaved expositors being tortured and shit, and we're just told that we're not that. That's all here, and I haven't even read whatever this last line is at the very bottom of the page. And we're just told this shit instead of shown any of it. We could be sinking with Kai into his goddamn memories, into Talamine's threadbare goddamn memories. And is Talamine still trapped in his body, now in a living fucking hell? We don't know, and Martha Wells probably doesn't give a fuck either fucking way.
Going through the memories like Kellogg and Fallout
We
4.
could literally Fallout 4 does this better than this shit. In Fallout 4, the long story short, we're taking a trip through somebody else's memories because magical sci-fi brain surgery shit. Don't ask questions. It doesn't make sense. And do we just get told afterward, like right here, that what his memories are, and not shown it? No, we literally walk through his fucking memories and see them for ourselves. We get to literally walk along his fucking synapses.
Walk down memory lane.
To just view the fucking memories. We don't just get told, oh, he blah 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 blah. He felt blah blah blah. We get to see this shit. We get to see it, and it's the villain too. Well, mini villain. He kind of dies very early because that's how you get. No, we're not getting off topic. We literally see his memories instead of just being told. Like, this is ridiculous. We get told right here. This little 2.1 line paragraph. Right here where my index finger is. That's where we just get told that he's going through and seeing painful memories of the shit that enslaved expositors get trained to do. And, like, it's ridiculous. that line at the bottom of the page. The second time the soldiers stood further back and someone, we are now on page 362, had set a wooden water flask near his hand. He drank some water, rubbed a handful on his face, and went back in. Is she doing this on purpose? Is Martha Wells doing this on purpose? Is she that bad at writing on purpose just to be fucking infuriating? What in the fuck?
Yeah, there's a reason over 400 people got this and could not finish it, and those are the people who bothered to leave reviews to say that.
Christ. How many? I asked how much more bullshit could she fucking put in here, and she seems like she's taking it as a goddamn Olympic fucking challenge. So he not only drinks water, despite everything we've been told about how demons are supposed to be weak to water, he drank some. Bad enough. He rubbed some on his face. What in the absolute fuck? Why? Who let this... No, we know who let this be published. They're on the fucking acknowledgments page as though they're proud of this. As though charging people $28.99 for this is a thing to be proud of. This, I swear to fucking God. Anybody who ever tries to tell you that Martha Wells is good at writing is a goddamn liar who has never read a good book in their fucking life. Oh my God. It's so simple. It's such a simple thing that she has to keep straight. Demons are weak to water, and she can't. She doesn't want to keep it straight.
And that water specifically is acid.
You could have even had this. You could have made this a really nice, cute, sweet character moment. I will try not to break the book in half. You could have made this a really nice character moment where somebody had put a flask near his hand. He was disappointed. He thought it would be water and opened it for some fucking reason. And only to realize, looking in at it, maybe it's milk. Maybe it's a fruit juice. Something that's not water. Something that he can actually fucking drink that tastes good. This could be a cute fucking character moment, showing that people care about him, instead of just telling us at random points XYZ probably likes him or something like that. You could have done that. Instead, we get the goddamn demon who is supposed to be weak to water, not only drinking water, rubbing it on his face.
On purpose.
On purpose. As though that's refreshing. Not even to cause the pain magic shit. Oh my god.
There's a double rainbow.
For where?
Double rainbow in Florida. They got
Double rainbow in Florida. Happy Pride, everybody. Except Martha Wells. Fuck you for just... What in the fuck is this? It's such a simple thing. You can...
Don't say your main character is deathly weak to water and water's torture if you're not even gonna keep that up for at least a full book before you magically fucking cure that.
This is absurdity. I will try to continue reading this fucking book. I swear to God. I love that these cats don't care at all because they know we just do this. And again, we're just getting told all the shit he's looking through the memories to see. We don't get to see any of it at all. We just get told, oh, blah, 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 blah. This would be a great character moment if Martha Wells thought, oh, I guess we should remind everybody and just tell everybody, if you haven't gotten the fucking memo, Martha Wells doesn't think that character development is actually a requirement for basic storytelling, because real people don't change all that much. And the lack of character development and even development of the world around a character in her writing, in her own goddamn words, the lack of character development, the lack of development, flat out, in her writing, is a feature, not a bug. And I specify not even the world changing around the character, because you can literally write an entire story about a character who is static, who does not change at all. And the entire point of the story is that the world is leaving them behind. Not even that. Martha Wells does not fucking believe in character development. And she waits until there's 7 Murderbot books to tell people this. And she just tells people this casually, like it's not, like, I'll stop. You can continue. It's just fucking ridiculous. Okay, Kai can't figure out, he doesn't know how to use enough spells to be able to destroy the bridge. He wants to try and set it on fire, but he can't figure out how to make a magical fire. Also, I know there's no explanation for why nobody just starts a regular goddamn fire. It's a wooden bridge. It's a wooden bridge. They have lamps. We're just supposed to pretend that magic is the only solution to this at all, when you could just take the lamps, fucking spread the goddamn grease, go kill a goddamn animal, get the fat, rub the fat on the bridge. You got lamps. We're just pretending that magic is the only possible solution here. And Kai can't figure out how to make a magical spell that will set the bridge on fire without just making endless fire. which would obviously be bad. And he's thinking, I could ask the witches for help, but I don't wanna. I wanna do it myself. He wanted to do this, to personally teach the hierarchs another lesson in destruction. And this could be a character, but Martha Wells, this could be a great character moment where the character learns, like, this could be Kai's first instinct. I gotta do it myself because I'm a cool, edgy protagonist. That could be his first instinct. But then common sense, and if this were a real well-written book, everything he's learned over the course of the hypothetical story that doesn't exist could show him that, no, teamwork makes the dream work. You can't win a revolution by yourself. But Martha Wells is just, whatever. I'll get into that later. This could be a character moment where Kai reaches out for help because teamwork makes the dream work. You can't do everything by yourself. You shouldn't try to do everything by yourself. You can't do a one-man revolution. You gotta ask for help. Teamwork makes the dream work. But no, I'm guessing, we're still on page 362. I'm guessing he'll just magically figure it the fuck out. No character development, even remotely. Now on page 363. Wow, would you look at that? Literally, how many paragraphs later is that? Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 paragraphs later. That statement of he wanted to do this is right here. Right here on this page. He successfully burns down the bridge. Because, not by learning a single fucking thing. He hasn't learned anything. He's just, again, so, hold on. Let me scroll back. How long have we been waiting? So that's another 2 pages wasted for no fucking reason. Because he's just using the same basic fire spell he got earlier. He was supposed to have been meditating this whole time to figure out how to make it stronger and only burn the bridge instead of burning everything around the bridge. He didn't succeed at that. So the solution is to just stab himself so that he has extra pain and just use the fire spell. So nothing learned in any way whatsoever. Right after I pointed out that this could literally be a moment of character development where we learn that teamwork is good. No, it's just stab yourself about it. I'm sure that'll solve everything.
As we were suggesting, the second we learn here the pain magic system, and this is the first time he's doing it.
No, he's done this before. He just does this. Anytime he needs to do something with magic, he just stabs himself or something. Instead of just doing... It's just bad writing. It's bad writing. It's bad writing. It's bad magic. It's bad characters. It's bad fucking writing. And hold on, that's page 363. How long have we been trying to burn down this fucking bridge?
Does the name Mary Coolidge sound like a ancient bird person, studying person?
I don't know. Is that supposed to be a real name?
Uh-huh. Sparrows by Mary Coolidge Rask.
I don't know.
E-book.
We've been trying to burn down this bridge since page 352. That's when they decided they were going to burn down the bridge. And now on page 363, they finally succeed in burning down the bridge. And 10 pages might not sound like a lot, but we have only, less than 50 pages to go now. We wasted 10 total. Why am I holding up 5 fingers? Just use your imagination. Pretend I have 3 hands so I can hold the book. We just wasted 10 pages total on that when the solution was just stab yourself and pour more magic into the fire spell. We didn't need to take 10 pages for that. And we wasted 6 pages on the stupid joke that didn't even land and is creepy even if it had landed. And for no fucking reason. Just to make this last just that tiny bit fucking longer.
And this was advertised as standalone.
Yeah.
There's 50
Also,
pages left.
I want to note, for the fucking record, Martha Wells has now used the word pelted like twice in 20 pages. Just for the record. Like, it's fine if you're writing if you just get one word just stuck in your head and you keep accidentally using it a lot. But, like, it's very noticeable, and with the hundreds of drafts that are mentioned in the acknowledgments, you'd think somebody would catch it. Especially when they're charging $28.99 for this. There's one Tarzan book where Edgar Rice Burroughs just really abruptly got obsessed with the word demurred and just kept using it, including in places where it doesn't work. Like, he's just saying, oh, XYZ said something. He demurred. And it's like, but he's not demurring. That's not what that means. What are you talking about? Why are you suddenly obsessed with this word? It was really fucking weird. I think it's the one, I don't know what it's called because the Tarzan titles are shit. They're very obviously just blatant cash grabs. So he was just slapping Tarzan and the blah. It's the one where Tarzan is like in some ancient Roman Empire thing and then just like stuff. On page 364, he didn't slow until they were all the way down the ramp, until it was the stone of the road under their feet instead of wood. The rest of the cadre, the scouts, and a scatter of other soldiers waited there, holding lamps, wide-eyed and shocked. Obviously thinking of the flooded summer halls, Salatl asked worriedly, "Will it stop?" Because Kai just picked up a magic spell in there and just slapped it into water when you're not supposed to do that, so it just made, like, almost endless water. Like, a lake's worth of water. Kai says, probably, even though that was the whole point of him wasting so many pages sitting there meditating, where we don't even get to see what he's meditating about, we just get told it's a thing that's happening. The whole point of that meditation was to make sure it wouldn't cause endless fire that destroys the fucking world. Now we're just going with, will it stop? And then, probably. And that's just, comma, probably, period. Like, you need a definite fucking answer to that question. It's not funny to leave that question unanswered and just say, probably. Because if the answer is, you don't fucking know, then you shouldn't have got past the You shouldn't cast possibly a literally endless, unstoppable fire spell if you don't know what you're doing. Again, this could be a learning moment where we learn not to cast endless fucking unstoppable fire spells. Because that kills people.
And they specifically brought that up, didn't they?
Martha Wells is the one who brought up that possibility multiple times, and that's why he was sitting there meditating, wasting time. shit, Martha Wells. Part of the exact same. It's a very big paragraph for this kind of book. It's the exact same paragraph. Comma, probably, period. Kai looked back at the leaping flames, the red flowing like water over the wood. He had limited the design to just the center part of the bridge, and that gets a mark. Because that gets a mark. Yeah. Or at least he thought he had. Period. And he wished he had taken the time to search Talamine's mind for water intentions. Period. Just a little water intention. Period. He wondered if the cageling demon courtyard. I am continuing to fucking correct that to courtyard. It's not a court. It's a courtyard. He wondered if the cageling demon courtyard's intention would overflow the earthwork and flood the whole world. Period. Or what would have happened if he had dropped it in a river instead of a pool in an enclosed space. Period. Probably it didn't work like that, comma, or the hierarchs would have used it to flood whole valleys somewhere. Period. But maybe they had done it somewhere. What did Kai know? Period. Why do you keep just casually bringing up the idea that your fucking protagonist might have accidentally drowned the entire goddamn world and now might have also set the entire world on fire? Because, like, this is the past. We don't know that that water in there, that water spell, is going to fucking stop. We have no fucking reason to believe that this fire is going to stop. Salato is watching Kai with a tense, worried expression. This is still page 364. He guessed his demeanor was not engendering confidence. She said, "Should we warn the camp?" That wasn't a bad idea. The fire still spread from plank to plank with that inexorable liquid intensity. It might, Kai began. With another loud crack, more beams gave way, and the fiery center section toppled sideways and crashed into the water. Kai darted forward into the shallows, and I have 2 comments to make for that little start of the next paragraph. So many. Why, again? Why is he able to casually walk into water? And 2, he shouldn't be able to casually walk into water because everybody backed very far away from the fucking bridge. He can't just dart forward into the shallows. He has to make a very long run and then jump into the shallows. You can't just dart from all the way back here to the river up here. You have to fucking run forward very goddamn far because everybody backed up to get away from the possibly infinite fire spell.
Go to bed. Okay. One thing that keeps popping to my mind every time you say the one character's name is it sounds like that one Pokemon that's like a lizard, but a lady. Salazzle. Uh-huh. Like the little thief.
Yeah,
lizard Pokemon who's...
I don't know what they're called.
I think it's like Salazzle. What's the character's name?
Salatel. Salatel.
Yeah, I've just been imagining the Pokemon.
You're gonna have to show me that. I don't know what that looks like. Conveniently, the possibly infinite fire spell is not an infinite fire spell. The bridge collapses in the middle and goes into the water, and then as soon as the water covers where he supposedly put a design, the rest of the fire goes out. So it's fine. Because
so that was just fake build-up for no reason.
Literally just fake build-up, wasting over 10 pages for nothing at all. Yeah. It's just a fake out. Okay. Ow. That hurt my neck. You are such a lazy fucking writer, Martha Wells, I swear to God. Page 365. Kai reached up to rub his face and winced. His chest and right arm hurt. Were going to hurt all night, probably.
Because he got burned by the fire in a non-existent scene?
He still felt that... That gets 2 marks! Stop while you're ahead! You're not ahead, but stop. Jesus, fuck.
Stop before you fall asleep.
Stop!
Okay.
Stop it! He still felt the ache in his back from the spear wound yesterday. What spear wound yesterday? It hasn't been 24 hours. We're now at 7 marks on my fucking arm just for shit that she's telling us out of nowhere. And that's generous. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. What is this is supposed to be deep and meaningful, but it's just... Saladel asked, on page 365, Fourth Prince, why did you stab yourself? I don't think he gave her back her knife. Where did her knife go? That was her personal knife. That was her knife. Where did that go? That's not important right now, but where the fuck did her knife go? And he needs to clean his blood off it, because that's gross. Saladel asked, Fourth Prince, actually, that is going on my arm. We'll put blue for a question of where the fuck did her knife go? And I think it was like a nice knife, too. Fourth Prince, why did you stab yourself? Kai might as well tell them. He says, I'm not an expositor, period. I don't want to be one, period. Using the hierarchs well would make me ... like them, period. I use pain instead, period. My pain, period. They were all staring at him, and he didn't want to see what was in Salado's gaze, comma, horror or worse, comma, sympathy. It was too much. Now I can't... Now I'm gonna imagine that fucking Pokemon.
You're welcome.
That's so annoying.
This just sounds like Moon again.
This is ridiculous.
And Murderbot.
Because... And wait until if you ever read The Wizard Hunters.
I won't.
Is that a fly up there? Or just a really big beetle?
The beetle.
Okay.
Buggy.
Martha Wells is so racist. I'll get into that later. I'm just saying that.
You'd say, even if it's not the out loud racist. It's still
No.
racism.
Everybody here, anybody who's watching a person read a book. Who the fuck? Oh my god. Some lamps had gone down with the bridge. Why? What do you mean? What are you fucking talking about? Some lamps had gone down with the bridge. What? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Martha Wells? What in the fuck are you talking about? There were no lamps attached to the bridge. Some lamps had gone down with the bridge, comma, but Nirana and Talair had grabbed a couple. Who the fuck are Nirana and Talair? Why are we this far into the book and we are still getting character names dropped on us? That we just get a random sentence out of nowhere. Here's the first paragraph here. Some lamps had gone down with the bridge, but Nirana and Talair had grabbed a couple, enough to light the way to camp and the wall walkers. The scent of wood smoke mingled with something that might be seared onion made... The scent of wood smoke mingled with something that might... Yeah, that's, again, bad, inconsistent narration style. The scent of wood smoke mingled with something that might be seared onion made Kai's stomach crimp. Why is it suddenly present tense? Might have been seared onion. This is what I mean. Same. Why are we switching tense? This is be is present tense. It should say might have been seared onion because the rest of this shit is in past tense. Why are we suddenly switching on one fucking word to present tense? And also we are claiming that he had the bad feeling this body was going to need feeding more often than Enna's had. And then as the next single line paragraph, randomly we get, he hoped someone was watching Bashasa's back. That's so fucking random and has nothing to do with anything. If he'd thought, I wonder if Bashasa likes seared onion, that would make sense. Why that... Meh. Now on page 366. Somebody's like, hey, the fourth prince needs to report to Bashasa, blah, 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 blah. And somebody says something back in an aggressive tone that makes Kai want to bare his teeth, even though he doesn't bare his teeth ever. That's disgusting. Page 366. Salatl says to the person who is speaking their native language, speak Imperial or stand aside now. But trust Martha Wells, guys. This is not an evil empire. They're not more colonizers. Just telling people, don't fucking speak your native language. Speak Imperial. What in the fuck? When I said how much more bullshit can she fit into this little level of thing, I didn't mean it as a challenge. Please stop. So now Kai is threatening to the guards who are not letting them in. And, just bullshit. Just bullshit. More fucking bullshit. I don't fucking care. Page 368. Bashasa is stumbling around and his face is sallow and he's obviously sleepy and because he hasn't been sleeping. And he's now leaning against Kai and mumbling into Kai's hair. You can't get the bug, it's outside. Mm. 369. Kai is dragging Bashasa off to Bashasa's bed so he goes to sleep. And we're just, at this point, we're just supposed to have completely forgotten that Kai is still a fucking child, so we're just supposed to ship it and think, ooh, yeah, that's great. It's not. Kai's a child. Just because he has been accidentally put in the body of an adult doesn't mean he's not a fucking child. Starting from page 368. Alright, hold on. Hey. Up. Up. You cannot get the bug. They're outside the window. You can't get through the glass. Stop pulling the curtain down. Hello, little baby. Lay down with the baby. Mayfly, well, I guess they're not mayflies if it's June. Mayflies or crane flies. Something keeps buzzing at the window, and Mr. Karras decided he wants to poke the curtain and get his claws stuck in the curtain, trying to poke at the bugs on the other side of the window. Anyways, we're reading this weird quote. It starts on page 368 and ends on page 369. They're going to the area of the tent somebody pointed to when Kai asked, where is he supposed to sleep? Because Bashasa, needs to sleep. Inside was a room with a hanging lamp and a padded bedroll, so thick it was almost knee-high. Kai suspected the space was intended to be much more lavish if it was meant for a hierarch's servant and his attendants, but the Araik obviously had only unpacked the bare minimum of the tent's accoutrements. There was also a finely carved wooden case with some maps piled atop it and a leather pack, and the same long-wrapped bundle that Kai had seen Taren, can't even pronounce her name correctly anymore, had seen Taren carrying before they left. Bashasa's sister's body. So her dead body is wrapped in some kind of fabric and is fitting in this room. And Kai was chosen to be released from the torture chamber because Enna's body was around the same size as Bashasa's younger sister, his baby fucking sister, so that they could replace Enna's body with Bashasa's sister's body and hope nobody would notice that a demon was missing. Because Enna was a child, and Kai was a child, put into the fucking body of a child. Alright, what the fuck is going on now? Okay, hold on. I'll just read you this, and you can tell me what the fuck is supposed to be going on here. Before they went into this little section of the tent, which is designated Bashasa's bedroom, Saladin hurried in front to open the tent flap for them because Kai has to carry Bashasa because he's hasn't slept in 24 hours or whatever. Okay, that's fine. Now, they've just walked in and seen all that shit I already described. He steered Bashasa toward the bedroll, but Bashasa stumbled and Kai half collapsed, trying to help him sit down. Releasing Kai, Bashasa flopped over backward. Ah, thank you, fourth prince. He sounded exhausted. You can call me Kai, remember? He supposed he should get up, but his skirt was caught under Bashasa's leg, and the bedroll was just as comfortable as it looked, sinking down under his weight. Obviously disturbed, Saladin yanked the curtain back into place, and in a low voice asked Bashasa's soldier, Trenal, where is the rest of his personal cadre? And I don't have a problem with that per se, but the next part doesn't make sense. Trenal nodded toward the map case. So are they in here? Are they in the little tent, the bedroom with them? Because it's just causing so much unnecessary confusion. If these two are in the bedroom with them instead of just standing on either side of the door right outside the tent flap, then we need that to be specified, because we were just told that Saladin ran ahead to open the flap in the tent to let them through, so they don't run into the wall. Her closing the flap should imply that they're standing directly outside, and Kai can't see them to see what Trenal is looking at. It's fine for him to hear Saladin, it's fine for him to hear them talking, not for him to know what they're looking at. So are they in the room? $370. So now Saladin and whoever the fuck Trenal is like, saying, yeah, his cousin told me to order his personal guard to leave, and Bashasa's now acting weird. So the obvious conclusion is he's been poisoned and is getting attempted assassinated. Blah, 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 blah. Kai's in charge. This isn't ideal. Period. Though it was still better than being in the Cageling Demon Court. Period. Martha Wells is so racist, she has to come up with new ways to be racist. This is now... Just stop with the bullshit so I can finish this book. Martha Wells, you don't need to take it as a personal fucking challenge to fit as much bullshit into this tiny bit of paper as you possibly fucking can. That statement there, this is still better than being in the demon fucking bullshit torture chamber, is implying that the only possible fucking options are be in the goddamn torture chamber or be with these people, because... so much. There is so much to unpack here, but I will just say it very shortly. Martha Wells chose to literally demonize every single other fucking demon who was in the goddamn torture chamber who did not. I hate her. I hate her. There's so much bullshit here. I just want to finish this fucking book. I'm not even going to get into it. Martha Wells decided all of the people who are being tortured that don't come with these guys are evil and deserve to get tortured to death or die, or both. Now she is presenting the only fucking options Kai could possibly have had, either as staying in the goddamn torture chamber, or specifically and only going with these people to do whatever they fucking say. I swear to fuck. This is just the slavery apologism and the Murderbot Diaries all over again, except we're doing it with demons instead of enslaved, brainwashed fucking cyborgs. I hate this shit. She is so fucking regressive. She is cynical. She worships individualism and all of such fucking bullshit. Just stop. We're on page 371. It's like 20-something pages. I'm not doing math. It's like 25 maybe pages or something. No, it's not 25. It's pages. Numbers of pages. Until we get to the goddamn end of this book. And she just decided I will stick as much fucking shit in here as possible. Now I have the hiccups. Managed to turn to page 371. And this seems like it's just, again, going to be characters standing around talking. We're just going to stand around and talk about whether or not the leader of the fucking rebellion has been poisoned. Not going to go out and kick somebody's ass. Not going to go out and examine the food. Not going to search everybody that was in there to make sure they don't have vials of fucking poison. The curtain swung open and Salato stepped aside for Hiranem. The elder Prince Heir leaned on her crutch, surveying the scene. I'm not certain that Martha Wells knows the difference between a crutch and a cane. Stick figures on my arm. Typically, there's one cane. If you're using crutches, you're usually using two of them unless you are literally too poor to afford another one. That's why you see... You guys, it's outside the window. You can't get it. Picture two cats standing up on their hind legs with their paws against the window, waving their tails back and forth almost in... one of them got down now. Almost in sync. I'm just looking at a bug. That's what I'm seeing. Well, now they're both just sitting there. It's just saying she has one crutch makes me think that what she actually has is a cane, but that Martha Wells doesn't know the difference, because crutches, you use them in pairs unless you're too poor to have more than one. Like, the reason in, like, stuff like Newsies, you see beggar kids with only one crutch is part of it is that they're too poor to have 2 crutches. Like, I don't think she has 1 crutch. I think she has a cane. That's not the same fucking thing. I'll even just look that up quick. I don't want to have to plug my damn keyboard in. Like, yeah, it is a thing to just use 1 crutch, but like, it's just weird, and I don't think, and this is the only, this is the second physically disabled person I have seen in every single Martha Wells book I've ever read. And, she does have a list of books in the time for this. I'll just tell you which ones I haven't read. Here's the list. I'll tell you which ones I haven't read. I have not read The Element of Fire. We got that one, though. I haven't read The Death of the Necromancer. I haven't read Emily in the Sky World. Is that it? Okay. How many books are here? There's 7 Murderbot Diaries, I know that. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. She has 22 books total. They're not listing System Collapse, but I'm mentally counting that. There's 22. I have not read 3 out of 25 of her books, because I will count me as having read this now. Yeah, I've read all, but the only ones here that I have not read is The Element of Fire and The Death of the Necromancer, and those are called standalone books, but I didn't realize that when I read The Fall of the Illyrian trilogy, which is just called The Wizard Hunters for short, because that's the name of the first book. I didn't realize when I read that series that these ones had come out before it, and I don't know if the reason those ones act like they're not standalone is because she's just doing the same thing she did here, or if the events referenced in that actually happen in these ones. We're going to find out, because we got that one. I did read the Between Worlds, the Collected Illyrian and Sineth stories, which was really boring. And the reason I haven't read Emily in the Sky World yet is... Hold on. Who is causing problems? You're not even... There's nobody there. Normally when I read a book in a series, I just go from one to the other, and yeah, I could not do that with Emily and the Hollow World and Emily in the Sky World, because Emily in the Hollow World was so brain-numbingly... so boring. It's just so boring. No, that's a different whole level. I was gonna compare it to an episode of Flatland, but that's on a whole different tier. Emily in the Hollow World was so badly written that I could not read Emily in the Sky World immediately following it, because it's so much. I don't even know how to describe it. Boring isn't the right word, but boring is the only word I can think of. It's mind-numbing. Like, it literally felt like my brain was getting melted by how boring it was. And it's boring as fucking A. So, as I was saying, I've read all but apparently 3 out of all of her published books ever. And I've also read Wolf Knight and The Thing, maybe just called Thorns, that's not listed on here. And this is the second ever physically disabled character ever to exist in any of these. And this person is not even a character. They're just a fucking name, and she has a crutch. That's it. The other single physically fucking disabled character in all of Martha Wells' things is... did I just forget her name? Yep, I just forgot her name. No, it's Rora. Rora, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Rora, who's terribly fucking written. She's supposed to be... She's like a... It's from the Books of the Raxera. And yes, we are just interrupting this now. Because she just keeps fitting more bullshit every single fucking page. And I'm sick of it. It's like she's trying to punish you for getting this far. Rora, in the Books of the Raxera, she was a mermaid, except they have... I don't even know. It's so badly fucking described and has no descriptions of anything. But was a mermaid. Maybe she had fins on her legs, like flippers, instead of a single fishtail. But then got some injury thing. So now... What? Oh. You scare her? You don't have to be so dramatic. You can come here. You can come swim me. Come here. She's just like that. She doesn't know how to talk. Pro tip, people, don't teach your cat to communicate by demon screeches. You can come over here. Our one cat does not know how to talk to anybody because whoever had her first taught her to do demon screeches for everything, which our brother also managed to do with his cat that he... We're getting so off topic. I'll stop. Rora, some kind of fish person. At some point got some kind of injury to her flippers. And then, for some fucking reason, was banished to land. And had her fin flipper things. It's really terrible and doesn't make sense. And characters even say out loud it doesn't make sense, but it's like... Just because you, Martha Wells, admit something doesn't make sense doesn't mean it's good writing suddenly. And it's not commentary on anything. She has her flipper leg things. Like, one of them ends, I think, at the knee and the other's like at the ankle or something, because I don't know. We'll just say she got bitten by a killer whale. They don't have killer whales on this fucking planet. But let's just go with that. She got her feet bitten off by a killer whale. Okay. For some fucking reason, this means she got banished to land and has to shove her flippers into boots and walk around on her violently amputated stumps of legs, but they're not legs because she's a fish person, and it's just really fucking ridiculous, and she's constantly forced to walk everywhere until she's bleeding because she's literally putting all of her weight on stumps that have never been given proper medical care and in just random boots that she has to shove in there, and none of it makes sense. And it's not anything. And then, like, she's never given a wheelchair or anything even equivalent. She's just forced to walk around like this the entire story. And also there's so much bullshit going on here. She's just horribly fucking written, and Martha Wells seems to think that disabled characters, physically disabled characters at least, she also doesn't give a shit about neurodivergent people who aren't relatably autistic in very specific ways. Yeah, she just kind of writes Rora like she thinks that it's just inspiration porn. It's torture porn, inspiration porn, because Rora is in... I have the hiccups still. Rora is in constant agony because she has to walk around on literal bleeding stumps. And that's it. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? And why are you all forcing her to do this? Why doesn't she have a wheelchair? What? You have wheels. You have chairs. Get her a fucking wheelchair. They especially have magic. She could have a magical wheelchair. But no, Martha Wells just says no. That was the first physically disabled character I've ever seen Martha Wells write, and considering this person is literally not even a character, I'm just going to continue to consider her the only physically disabled character I've ever seen Martha Wells write. It's like she exists just to get tortured by ableism, and there's no resolution. There's no point to this. It's just torture porn / inspiration porn, and just like, look at that disabled character suffer. And it's like, okay, are you gonna do something about it? Or is there political commentary here? And it's just nope. It's just fucking weird as hell. Let's continue reading this, maybe. On page 372. Bashasa's cousin implied to Lady with the Single Crutch, who does not even get to be a character, evil cousin lady, and that is just also misogyny. It's just more misogyny. Implied to this lady that Kai is like there to have sex with Bashasa in a bad way thing that's shameful and blah 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 blah. Again, Kai is just being written exactly in the past. 60 fucking years ago, apparently. He's just being written tinnitus. Being written completely. Wow, that was a bad idea. I got dizzy for a second. What the fuck? Go away. He's completely exactly identical to Kai in 60 fucking years in the future. And it's badly written because he's still a child, as I've said. It's only been 24 fucking hours. Also, I gotta say, it's really stupid. They're making such a big deal out of burning this bridge, and now they're like, ooh, yeah, Bashasa's really good at picking where we go. There's no other bridges nearby. Okay, but the fantasy Nazis, we've established, have flying boats. They've got flying airships. They have flying rafts. They have magic. They have every magic possible. They don't need a fucking bridge. They could probably just Wile E. Coyote their way across. What are you talking about? You can't tell us that the immortal fantasy Nazis have had flying boats this whole time, a thing very blatantly made up just to justify there being boat landings high enough in the present for them to be able to reach it from the flooded level. It clearly wasn't the plan to begin with. And it's just like, so now we're going to act like not having a bridge is going to stop them. Like they can't just do magic to go across, and like they don't literally have access to flying boats. What time is it? 11:58. $3.73. Also, in the future, they made a big deal about people speaking Arike as though they wouldn't speak that language because we were there. But back here, he explicitly doesn't understand Arike, so that's completely meaningless. On page 374. Ow, my eye's burning. Stop it. Ow, I got something in my eye. Go away, Bible. Page 374, Zidi's like, it would be nice if they waited until we had actually completed our escape to start stabbing each other in the back. And Kai's like, when was the last time something nice happened? As though they have been best friends forever, as though Kai isn't a child, as though... This is so badly written. This is just so badly written. This is the past. They haven't known each other for 24 fucking hours. It's just... There's nothing to indicate that that is the kind of question that Kai would ask when he's a kid more than 60 years ago. Ziti said, that was good work with the bridge. Did you have any trouble stopping the spread of the flames? Kai should probably lie, but he didn't have the heart for it. There was a moment when I was terrified it would burn the trees in the fields and the camp, ... Ziti, what if it had? What? Martha Wells is just trying to do... That's counting. It's just bullshit. If you, whoops, I'm poking the phone. If you want to pretend that he has been, instead of pretending that he's been worrying about this the entire time since he did that, show us. It's so fucking easy. Just say multiple times, he was still imagining what blah 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 blah. I'm on page 375. Zedi has successfully freed Kai's. Oh, if I didn't mention it, when Bashasa fell on the bed, he landed on top of Kai's skirt, so Kai couldn't move without waking him up. I mean, Kai could have, but he didn't want to, and nobody else told him to. So Zedi has managed to free his trapped skirt. He's now sitting on the floor. On page 376, they're looking at a map with this much time left in the book and going, oh wow, look at all these cities that are just completely fucking genocided. And it's most of the cities on the map. It's like, wow, this could be information. This is information you should have given us at the very start of the fucking book, not at the very fucking end. This is meaningless. Bashasa ordered them to also retrieve Enna's body along with his sister's. They're going to use his sister's body as very, very dramatic proof that the hierarchs break their treaties. They're gonna bury Kai and Zedi are gonna bury Enna's body because there's a line break. I'm not sure why anybody thinks it's safe to just leave Bashasa there by himself, because the rest of his personal guard haven't come back, and he could still literally have been poisoned. But I guess we're pretending that's not a thing anymore. So these were also just wasted pages of nothingness going on. That's this many pages of this many left. Wasted. Because he wasn't actually poisoned. Is this whole rest of this book just gonna be me showing you how many pages have gotten wasted on completely meaningless shit that shouldn't be in here? Again, I have to just keep fucking emphasizing this. This is Kai in the past, over 60 years ago. Apparently, he's still a child, but he is fucking indistinguishable from present Kai, who is a fully grown fucking adult. He said to ZD on page 378, I thought you hated Imperial Marshals. Hey, psst, 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 psst. Off! Don't make me move that table. You can't go up there. ZD says, I do. Kai says, then what's going on with you and Ta-Ren? These are not questions child Kai would be asking. It's not in character for past him to be asking this. He had a very simple characterization, and this isn't it, and there has been no development to lead him to this. Not even the pretend speed run fucking development between Ta-Ren and ZD to pretend that this is an enemies to lovers when there's no such thing. Kai got his personal guard to stay behind by implying that he and ZD are running off to do some dangerous and important witch work. So again, Martha Wells thinks that oppressed minorities just go around constantly pretending to be more threatening than we actually are, and that's why people are scared of us. And we're supposed to pretend this is funny and that they've all bonded. Ta-Ren was just lurking nearby watching them and's like, she says, I assume this is all normal. Kai says, we're burying me. Ta-Ren's like, what, permanently? And the old me, Enna, he snorted a laugh. No, I wasn't going to get in the hole and let ZD cover me up. Tempting as the prospect might seem, it's like this, none of this is earned. They are not friends. And why are we joking about burying Enna like this? It's not supposed to, so badly written. So badly written. So badly fucking written. We're supposed to pretend that, ooh, Ta-Ren offering to help dig a grave while those two are literally laughing themselves until they're rolling around on the ground. Only a slight exaggeration there. Kai literally had to sit down because he was laughing too hard about the stupid joke of, ooh, she's not gonna bury me. We're gonna pretend that's funny. Like, it's not a solemn thing at all. They're not laughing because they're sad or anything. They're just laughing. It's funny that they're burying a dead girl. Then Ta-Ren is like, can I help? And then they're like, ooh, this was more weighty than just asking to help bury a grave. And Kai said, yeah, I think we can trust you. And then ZD's like, yeah, I do too. And we're gonna pretend like that's meaningful and like they were actual enemies, and anything with any actual fucking character development. We are just supposed to imagine it all by ourselves because Martha Wells doesn't want to do it, even though we're paying $28.99. Well, I'm not paying $28.99. The person who bought this paid $28.99. Now we're back in the fucking present, and look at that. They're on one of those goddamn nifty flying rafts. The thing that we're pretending don't exist magically in the past, now that it's not convenient to letting there be conveniently boat-sized fucking windows in the city in the present when it's flooded. But you know, they burned one bridge, so that means they're safe now, except for all of the reasons that doesn't do anything. Especially, like, they were just in the dumb flooded area. This map here is so useless and is showing so many places we don't. The point of maps in books like this is that you kind of show the areas that the characters actually go to. This is just showing 90% places nobody has ever been to. It's so dumb. It's so badly written. Rome chapter 15, page 380. This Martha Wells, you're not being clever. It's just irritating. We're told the name of some fucking fort that's just called the Kagala, probably, is where apparently, Ta-Ren might be at. Is that? It is on the map. It's so awkward with the camera on that side. That generalish area. Yeah, that's the direction they're going, and then Kai's like, does that seem ... And then ZD says, like a looming presentiment of some sort of disaster? Not sarcastically like that. Like the looming presentiment of some sort of disaster? Said her voice dry and tense. After we just get this, a few paragraphs randomly telling us that, oh, in the past, they went to this fort at some point in the past. Not that we're gonna see that. Like, we could have just seen that in the past, because we were literally just in the past. You could have just shown that, but no, we're just gonna get told it instead. So now they're like, oh, does that seem like foreshadowing? And it's like, no, not really, because Martha Wells, you just made this shit up out of thin air. Literally, right here. You just made this shit up out of thin air. Kai sat back, not reassured. Omens were always tricky and hard to interpret and mostly useless, except to point to in hindsight. Except there is no hindsight in your books, Martha Wells, because you've never, I've read all but three of her fucking 25-ish listed books on this thing, not including System Collapse, even though it's not listed here, and there's no foreshadowing, because whatever. She really wants to do a thing without doing the thing on page 381, but it still felt strange, to be retracing that journey again from the summer halls to the Kagala. Except we've never heard of this. You are literally making it up right now out of thin fucking air. This is called being heavy-handed. This is pathetic. This is bad writing. You shouldn't have to tell us. Ooh, there's literary parallels. We can just pick up on that ourselves. This is just bad writing and it's irritating. Ooh, it's so portentous. We're going back. We're retracing the same journey we did before. Not in this level of fucking time left in the story, you're not. Shut up. I love it when animals just sigh very loudly. You are so cute. We already got this explanation from Sanja. Page 381. After they had gotten the raft pointed in the right direction, Ziti had explained that Tanez had called Earth spirits to exploit the weaknesses at the back of the stable cavern, to tunnel through it and cause the flood. Yeah, we know. Sanja told us. Why are we getting it again from Ziti? She's not offering new information. Nothing had worked. As part of that paragraph where we get the fucking explanation again from Ziti. That's not even in dialogue. Now we get this dialogue. And it gave way quite spectacularly, but we caught the edge when I tried to fly us away. She added with a grimace. It didn't work quite how I imagined. And then we get just Kai just thinking to himself. Nothing had worked the way Kai had imagined, but they got here in the end. And again. Whatever, I'm not even going to start. Ziti had also apologized for losing a drop of her blood on the Immortal Blessed ship. Why are you making her... Martha Wells, this is to you personally. Why the fuck are you making Ziti apologize for losing a drop of blood? Why the fuck are you making her apologize for getting a fucking paper cut? Kai was over the frustration of that lapse by now and had told her it didn't matter. As though it ever mattered? As though he were ever upset about it? What do you mean he's over the frustration? He was never frustrated about it or angry with her in any way. What is this bad fucking writing? That counts because we're now pretending that he was at some point frustrated and angry about it. What? It's bullshit. What are you talking about? At least whatever, and every time it says Arn Staranth, I am calling her Arn Neffa because that's her actual fucking name. At least whatever intention Arn Neffa had used to read Zidi's pearl had seemed to consume the blood, so it couldn't be used again. What do you mean it seems to have... What do you mean it seems to have consumed the blood? No, it fucking didn't. She literally held up a fucking, whatever, piece of cloth that had the blood stain on it. That she'd been using that single fucking drop this whole time through the magic of Martha Wells' bullshit. Why... You could have just said that some... Here I am, having to do Martha Wells' job for her again. If you want to pretend that that loose end that didn't exist until you willed it into existence 5 seconds, and then are pretending it's a loose end that needs to be tied up, you could have just said that somebody lunged forward and grabbed the bloody piece of the piece of cloth with Zidi's blood on it and burst it into flames. Why would you give Kai magical fire power if he's not gonna fucking use it? That would be a good use of his power. Just grab it and set it on fire. And there, the loose end is actually tied up instead of you just pretending even more bullshit for the most bullshittiest bullshit ever. Of, oh, she found a single drop of blood and did all this shit that doesn't make sense. Just stop. I swear to God, there's only this much. It was not a fucking challenge when I said how much can she fit in here. Now Zidi let out her breath in a frustrated huff. I don't care where we're going, if it's an omen or not. I just want to get there. Because Martha Wells is beating us over the head with, ooh, isn't it thematic? Look at the thematic parallel. Look at the thematic parallel. Their journey is going back and they're retracing their steps. Look at the thematic parallel. Let me pause it quick and get this. Alright, I'm back. I had to plug the phone in. You get to see Mr. Karras. Hello. Can you scoot for me? You can sit on my lap. You want to sit on my lap? Want to sit with me? You want to sit with me? Here, you can sit here. As long as you don't stab me too much. You gonna lay down? Gonna do the paw thing on my lap. The cord from the thing. The phone was at 13%, so whoopsie daisies. It's plugged into the power bank now. Ow, ow, you're stabbing me. You're stabbing me. You gotta just not use your claws. Ow. Ouch. But why? What are you doing? Get down here. Get down here. Scoot your butt. Come sit on my lap. You're in the camera. Move your foot. Move your foot. Move your foot. Yeah. Lay down with me. You want to look at the camera? You want to look at the camera? I said no. You want to look at the... It's just going to get in the way. You're going to knock it down. Come here. Why do you want to stand upside down? Come here. Scoot your feet. Scoot your feet. You're in the way. Come on. Thank you. You gonna lay down? You gonna lay down like a baby? And make it so I can't hold the book? You're a cutie. The problems of having a cat. On 382, Zeddy's like, so that must have been a shock to see another Seretti demon again. I don't know why we're specifying Seretti, because I don't think there's any other kind of demon. Kai didn't want to talk about this, but the roil of conflicting emotions felt like it was boiling his brain. That's another... Ow, 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 ow. Just careful with your claws, man. You're stabbing me. That's another mark. He feels like his brain is being boiled. Why isn't that reflected in the text? Huh? 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 Blah, blah, blah. We get, Kai saying, she was in prison for decades, Zeddy. The whole time we've been living our lives, she was ... Kai shook his head impatiently. We weren't close. I don't even know why. He didn't finish the sentence, even silently. Martha Wells, you're so bad at writing. Zeddy says on page 383, even if you two had never met before, she was a Seretti. She was a Seretti demon who you had just saved from the Cageling court. Zeddy said inexorably, but she knew you. She was older. She had a responsibility toward you. She should have been the one watching over you instead of a witch and a Reich Prince heir you had known for less than a day. Thanks for the confirmation it was less than 24 fucking hours. You would have watched over her, taken care of her, if she had been the one hurt. Huh? 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 What do you mean? She was also hurt. She was also explicitly also getting tortured. She was literally too weak to call out to Kai when she recognized him and wanted to go to him when he was brought there, but she was literally too weak. We were explicitly told. She explicitly told him, I thought that was you. I wanted to call out. I wanted to go to you, but I was too weak. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. Her gaze flickered past him to Ramad, and she added silently, It was the first time someone betrayed you. Kai buried his face in his hands. It's too much right now, he told her. Absurdity, and also just bad writing and retcons. Guys, can you stop moving that table? It's against the wall on purpose, kitties. You don't need to move it. Apparently there's no bathroom on an Imperial Marshall flying raft boat thing because Kai says they gotta stop up at some outpost for some reason, and then Sanja poked her head out of the cabin. Please, I have to pee. I have to pee too, Dahin contributed. It's like, and this is really weird because they've never brought up ever having to use bathroom breaks before now. So it's just more contrivances, and I think that's supposed to be funny. It's not funny. On page 384, Ramad is asking the intelligent question of, are we stopping there long enough to buy food? Because they're supposed to not have any food now. Kai is not telling anybody what he's gonna do, but Ziti knows what it is, and she tells him not to drag it out. That's alarming. I don't like that. Tanez is still groggy to the point that she wants to stay in the boat. That's very alarming. Everybody else is instantly recovered from everything. I'm very concerned about Tanez now, especially if she got hit in the head. So I think Tanez is staying in the boat. Immortal Lady is also there, and Immortal Lady left, it's calling her by her name, which is Sadrin, I'm calling her Immortal Lady, left the raft to stand dramatically a little distance away so Dahin would feel comfortable leaving it attended because they think she'll steal it. And saying that she's standing dramatically a little way away is supposed to be funny. It's not funny. Why is nobody concerned about Tanez, the child? She was knocked unconscious for a long fucking time, and now she's so groggy she doesn't even want to just take a little break from the boat with everybody else while they're going for a bathroom break and to get food? That's concerning. Can you please bring back a fucking doctor? And that's on page 384 for anybody who wants to reference it. There's so many descriptions. And I say there's descriptions, but they're not really properly descriptive. I just keep going back to those flowers. We were told flowers and mosses were growing out of cracks in the sidewalk. But that's the end of the description. We don't know what color flowers, what kind of flowers, how big of flowers. Like, there's flowers so tiny that you could fit like 4 of them in my pinky nail. I don't know where the camera... Okay, I guess the camera's right there. It's weird because there's a light up here, but the camera itself is down here. It's very distracting. There's flowers that are so that the flowers are so small you could fit 4 of them in my pinky nail and still have room on the spaces. What kind of flowers are growing out of the sidewalk? Just there's flowers growing out of the sidewalk. That could mean anything. I've seen an entire elderberry bush growing out of a crack in the sidewalk that big next to a house, and it was fantastic. Are we talking about dandelions? Are we talking about sunflowers? Are we talking about an entire elderberry bush? Talking about blueberries? Do you know purslanes? You know how many flowers can grow out of cracks in a sidewalk? The Batman, I think, is Batman. Cartoon, maybe Batman meme of, do you have any idea how little that narrows it down? I don't know what that's from. She just keeps telling us they cook with garlic and onions and stuff. It's so weird. Kai spotted Ziti moving with brisk efficiency toward the food sellers, Sanja skipping after her. Why is Sanja skipping? Why are you skipping, Sanja? Your friend Tenez is so fucking groggy from getting knocked unconscious she didn't even want to come with you guys. Why is she skipping? This is not the time to be skipping. This is the time to be solemn and quick with your fucking movements and looking for a goddamn doctor to bring back for this child who probably has a concussion. This is so unimportant. What are you doing? Kai tells Ramad while they're just walking through this market, or maybe they're just standing outside it. I don't know. Kai tells Ramad he still owes him the answer to one more question. So Ramad hesitated. What happened to lesser blessed Dahin? From his pained expression, he was clearly reviewing some of the details of their escape. The way he killed that immortal blessed... This wasn't a pleasant memory either, but Kai said, during the war, he was on a mission for Bashasa and he was caught by the immortal marshals who supported the hierarchs. His family didn't help him. He wasn't expected back soon, and it took us too long to realize he was missing, then too long to find him. It was why Dahin wouldn't let Kai give him a pearl. He couldn't stand the thought of anyone with that kind of access to his mind. He doesn't blame Daren. He knows she would never hurt him, but she's also ... one of them. Ramad took that in gravely. Everyone who survived that time bore scars. Bears' scars. Someone just... This is... Stop! Someone fucking stop her. There's this much pages left in the fucking book. We are on this tiny part. Stop adding shit. Just stop. Just say no. Just stop. Let the book end. Please. This is so bad. We don't need to know this about Dahin. This is made up out of thin air and has nothing to do with anything. Please, just stop. Page 386. Kai didn't, Ramad was about to say something. He's like, there's something I should... Kai didn't want to hear it. He had put this off long enough. Ramad thought the warm threads of unspoken connection between them were still there. It was time to cut them. I know you're Bashat's agent. Ramad was too experienced to be caught out like that. He smiled a little. I'm his vanguarder. Kai pressed on. You knew about the conspiracy. You and Bashat. He couldn't help adding, I'd given up on Bashat, but I hoped you didn't know. Ramad's face went still. He obviously had no idea how much Kai knew, and it had caught him utterly by surprise. Kai, ... That was the Niant Arik, and some overly ambitious immortal blessed. Surely what just happened to us is proof that I am not working for them. The lie by omission made this a little easier. You didn't have to work for them. All you had to do was not stop them. Kai let the painful irony show in his smile. Again, this is just bullshit being made up out of thin air. I mean, all of it is, but I'm just counting the painful irony. If I counted everything that just comes out of thin air, I would have run out of an arm 5 times over. We're mostly just going with emotions and magical bullshit. It got Taren, Zedi, and me out of the way during the Imperial Coalition renewal. Bashat knew we thought he and Benes Arik had too much power, that I didn't support the idea of a rising world empire. I mean, it's a bit too fucking late for that, I think. He couldn't take the chance that Taren would speak against him when she renewed the Immortal Blessed Treaty, so he let the conspirators take us. Then at the Imperial renewal, he exposed the conspiracy. The Council agreed to continue the Blessed Treaty without Taren, since her non-appearance was involuntary. Bashat was able to get rid of the dissidents and paint Niant Arik as a nest of traitors, so they lost their influence in the rising world. The Immortal Blessed will come out of this weaker, now that the Council knows they have dissension among their patriarchs. I feel like I should actually just be covering my arm with check marks, because all of this shit is made up out of thin air. We'll do blue check marks to tell them apart. Let's start there. Bashat knew that we thought he and Benes Arik had too much power. Since when? That I didn't support the idea of a rising world empire. I mean, we'll be generous, and we won't count that, because he's claimed before, it's not technically an empire, even though it fucking is. He couldn't take the chance that Taren would speak against him when she renewed the Immortal Blessed Treaty. I don't know what the fuck that's about. So he let the conspirators take us, making that up out of thin air. Then at the Imperial renewal, he exposed the conspiracy. Where are you getting this shit? You were just making shit up out of thin air. Martha Wells loves doing this. The Council agreed to continue the Blessed Treaty without Taren since her non-appearance was involuntary. Again? Nobody sent them a newspaper. He is just making this shit up out of thin fucking air. Bashat was able to get rid of the dissidents and paint Bashat was able to get rid of the dissidents is all a presumption all of itself. And paint Niant Arik as a nest of traitors. So that, and since when? How? When did he do that? So they lost their influence in the rising world. The Immortal Blessed will come out of this weaker. How? Now that the Council knows they have dissension among their patriarchs. What are you talking about? None of this. He hasn't secretly been using a scrying pool this whole time and not telling anybody else. He hasn't had access to a newspaper. I can't stress enough to you that all of this shit is just being made up out of thin air. There's no standing for this. There's no backing for this. There is no foundation for this shit. This is just being made up out of thin air for nowhere, out of nowhere. Nowhere. This is magic. This is the magic of bad fucking writing and bullshit. Kai saw that was all on page 386. That's all just one big paragraph that is this big. Kai saw the moment that Ramad understood it was time to give up the pretense. Some part of him seemed to relax, as if the deception was a weight he had just put down. Bashat did send me to find Taren Stargard and you. He would have ordered your release. Kai had to admire the effect. We're just so much. I'll switch back to pink. Unless did I have a green marker? No, I don't have a green marker. That would have been convenient. Hi, pretty kitty. We'll just do this. Again, we're just making shit up out of thin air. This isn't how political dramas work. I'm not. Ramad pressed his lips together, we're now on page 387, visibly regaining control, considering his next words. I apologize for my part in this. When I agreed to it, I didn't know you. That was unexpected, and sharp like a little stab with a very thin knife. Ramad had apparently never fooled himself into thinking this wasn't a betrayal. We're just making shit up out of thin air. So much making shit up. Kai said, very good. Now tell me if it was Bashat who poisoned me or if he just let it happen. He poisoned you. He knew what the Niant Arik planned wouldn't work. We let them think you had been betrayed by a traitor inside Benace's house. I still don't know who the fuck the Niant Arik are, so they're getting a mark just for that. Like, what the fuck? What are we talking about? What? What are we talking about? I don't fucking know, and I've read the book. Still not even done reading the book. Kai had to laugh at that one, though it came out harsher than he intended. I was betrayed by a traitor inside Benace's house. Ramad looked away, a hard line to his jaw. The Rising World needed the Imperial renewal. We couldn't let you talk the Enelin into refusing their agreements. We're just interrupting that with non-dialogue. Ramad had been clever, Bashat had been ruthless. It was almost a pity to tell them it had been pointless. What are you talking about? I wish I had a different colored washable marker, but I don't. What? Page 387, most of the way down. Ramad had been clever, Bashat had been ruthless, period. It was almost a pity to tell them it had been pointless, because... Shut up, phone. Nobody cares. Because... You distracted me, phone. Where did it go? Where is it at? Oh. Because Kai had betrayed them first. What? What do you fucking mean? What are we talking? What? What? He had betrayed them first? I talked the Enelin into that 5 years ago. What? Ramad turned to face him, brow furrowed. He didn't understand, period. Then, abruptly, he did, period. The breath caught in his throat, period. That's all a paragraph. What? What are we talking about? Kai shrugged. It took 2 years of discussion. Period. That's dialogue. This is not dialogue. All the Enelin provinces were individually governed, and they selected their own leaders by agreement among the populations. It was a complicated system, but at least more organized than how the witches did it. Why are you bringing that up? We don't know how witches do it. And you told us witches don't have renegades because I guess they're all a fucking brainwashed hive mind or whatever. I genuinely don't remember what the explanation for that was. I had to talk to all their leaders, then they had to agree among themselves. It was unexpectedly hard to look at Ramad's dawning comprehension, so Kai turned toward the outpost again. That gets a mark, because we're pretending that Kai cares about Ramad. This is such bullshit. So Kai turned toward the outpost again. Before we reached the summer halls, I got a message from the Enelin ambassador to Benace Arik. Enelin withdrew its support of Benace Arik and Bashat as planned after he exposed the conspirators, and the Imperial renewal failed. The Rising World is no longer an empire, it's a coalition of free allies again. When did you... I need another color. Before we reached the summer halls, I got a message from the Enelin ambassador. No. No, you did not. You touched a fucking glowing fish. This is... Fuck. I'm just gonna do this. Just do this. You are such a fucking liar, Martha Wells, that it's gonna be a circle. It's going full circle. Your bullshit is going full circle. You are so bad at this. This is not how you write. This is fucking atrocious. You can't... If you lied to your audience... This is ridiculous. The rising world is no longer an empire. It's a coalition of free allies again, and that gets its own. Because no. The council will divide up Benes Arik's responsibilities, and they even gave Bashat a seat, so he shouldn't be too disappointed that he won't rule as emperor. Kai wasn't near... I guess we gotta start up here. Kai wasn't nearly as calm as he knew he sounded. Benes Arik could go to war with Enelin about it, but Enelin has too much support. The rest of the coalition would turn on Benes Arik for disrupting the peace. 5 years, Ramad echoed, his voice dry as dust. So I betrayed you, ... Bashat betrayed you for nothing. I'm just drawing a little crying face. Feel bad. Look, they're sad. This is so fucking ridiculous. Kai was still angry, but it was so wrapped up in hurt at anger at himself for daring to believe that Ramad didn't know. He's not angry. There's nothing in this to be angry. He's also not hurt. You can't just tell us what the emotions are and never show any of them. That's why those two lesser blessed were so afraid of losing the Finding Stone. That's dialogue. This is not dialogue. Their plan for Niant Arik to be named capital of the rising world had failed, and the immortal blessed would still be held by the coalition treaty. The immortal marshals would be ordered to hunt down any blessed who had participated in the conspiracy, and an old hierarch's Finding Stone would have made a short work of that. Again, just making shit up out of thin air. I'll just count that as 1 point. We'll be generous. Now this is dialogue. I wasn't sure that you were aware of it until you tried to get Faharin to let us go, when you told him it was too late. Ramad had thought the imperial renewal had succeeded, that there was no reason to keep Kai and Zidi from returning. Kai had to add, it was always too late. He could look at Ramad now and turn to meet his gaze. You forgot what I am. Kai huffed a breath, and that was almost a laugh. An immortal demon prince. No, Kai said pointedly. Bashasa's immortal demon prince. What? He's also not immortal, but whatever. Down below, Zidi and Sandra, I don't think that matters. I'll give you one more answer. The words Bashasa spoke to me before he died were, don't let everything we fought for be for nothing. Ramad's expression was turning stricken. No, it's not. You don't know. Kai pressed on. He never wanted an empire to replace the hierarchs. He wanted everything to go back to the way it was before they came. I can't give him that, but I can give him this. You can tell Bashat. All we want is to be left alone. This is so fucking stupid. He's not mad for power, Ramad said abruptly. That's not what this was about. He knew about the schism in the Immortal Blessed, that there was a patriarch who wanted to end the treaty. He thought it was only the beginning, that the coalition would fracture under the pressure. He thought it had a better chance of survival if Benes Arik stayed in control. And then Kai's just walking away. Stop doing this. Then Sanja. Oh, hey, Tenez is coming. What? Huh? What? When did you get back? This is so badly written. Ziti and Sanja have been walking towards them the entire time. Correct, because they were in the market. Kai and Ramad were standing somewhere, looking at the market. Ziti sat down. Hold on. Oh, okay. I guess Kai walked back to the flying stupid boat that we're not calling a boat. We're calling it a raft for some reason. Okay, whatever. This is just distracting. One of Sandra's burdens was a palm leaf basket filled with stuffed fried pastries. That's fine, a bit confusing. Did they, how many pastries are we talking about? Did they buy a massive, ridiculous amount? Or is it a small little thing? That's confusing, but fine, it needs to be more specific. The smell of spices and chickpea and eggplant made Kai's stomach rumble despite everything. That's just confusing me. Stop talking about specific plants if you're not going to give us an explanation for how this world works. Why do they have chickpea? Why do they have eggplant? It's so fucking confusing. Also, Tenez emerged from the cabin, wide awake now. So I guess... Why... So she's totally fine? Why was she so groggy that she didn't want to leave before? You can't just say wide awake now. She wasn't sleepy. She was groggy from getting knocked unconscious like she has a freaking concussion. She wasn't just sleepy and needed a fucking nap. Alright. There's a line break. They're at the Kagala, a thing we've never been to ever. Page 390. There's so many pages left to go. Please, God, let it end. We still don't even know what a vanguarder is. We just keep referring to Ramad as a vanguarder, but the details of that fucking thing have never been explained. Those immortal blessed blah 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 blah. Immortal Lady says there wouldn't be a well source here because this place is too far out of the way. Dahin says, "Accept the way we're flying in. Thank you for your wisdom, Aunt." Zedi says, "Dahin, I am begging you." Because it's supposed to be funny? Zedi stood like a brittle statue, all nerves, and the last thing they needed was an argument. No, wait. Kai said that, not Zedi. This is just another thing of Martha Wells using paragraphs wrong. We're now on page 391. She's finally using the word courtyard. Finally. Instead of just constantly saying court. What are we talking about? I have to reread the page before because there's so many fucking descriptions that don't actually describe things. Especially because the misusage and lack of commas where there should be commas. Okay, if I looked suspicious, it's because the cat had his ears pinned back as he was looking out the window. Like, he's suspicious. I think he was just doing that. Whatever, I will just not be. I can't tell you what a single fucking location in this place looks like. It's so badly described. Should I land? Or should I land? Dahin studied the scene. It doesn't look like there's any... He cut, and then he stopped talking abruptly, just as figures emerged from an arched gateway onto the second level of the courtyard. Oh, she used the word courtyard again. It's a miracle. Kai ducked and pushed Sandra off the bench. Zedi crouched with a grimace of irritation. Tenez, already seated on the deck, flinched in alarm. But Immortal Lady doesn't get a reaction. But whatever. Oh, okay, we are specifically stating Immortal Lady's the only one who hadn't moved. Stop telling us people's names, Martha Wells. This is some guy named Vrenren. 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 Third cousin to Noreen and Shurin. Page 392. There was a line break. Page 393. Hello, pretty kitty. Are you gonna come over here? You wanna please not knock the phone over? You wanna sit down here? You wanna sit with me? He's like, no, I just wanna lick you. Oh, are you gonna sit with me? He's gonna lick his foot. You wanna sit with me? Yeah, you can sit here. He's gonna stand there. Like, nope. All right. You don't want to sit with me? Hi. You can sit here. I don't know what's with these cats and keeping their back feet up on the arm of the sofa, just putting their front paws on me and then just standing like that. You gonna lay down? This would actually be the worst timing in the world because I do have to go to bed soon. You gonna lay down or just stick your butt in my face? You gonna lay down? Yay! You're so cute. Yay! Now I'm gonna have to stay awake until he decides to move. You're so cute. You're actually bread loafing and your whiskers are tickling my nose. You are so cute. Thank you. Thank you, pretty kitty. You're a good boy. Let's see if I can finish reading this book, shall we? You can't see him, but he's bread loafing. Are you purring? You have such a quiet purr. You're so quiet. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. Let's read this book and I'll try not to smack you with it. My hand's covered in fur now. What you looking at? He's just looking up at the ceiling everywhere. Oh, nope, he's itchy. Page 394. Now you got fur all over me. Be nice. You can cuddle with her. Good pretty baby. Did you want to come back here? Besides getting fur all over me. Good boy. Starting over with pink again, just so we can tell them apart. This is absolute bullshit. He had the cantrip that opened the witch cells, given him to grandmother days ago, what felt like months ago. So this entire book, the present timeline, has only lasted a few fucking days. And there's no table of contents, so I can't just... We're past that part. Yes, I am scrolling to the front of the book to check if she actually fucking gave him any such fucking thing. This information was given to him on page 52 in 2 sentences. This over here where my thumb is, those 2 little fucking lines in that tiny paragraph above the fucking line break. He says, "Do you remember the cantrips that seal the witch cells and how to get past them?" She tapped her temple. "That knowledge I have engraved on my eyelids, little snake." And now, just that tiny little fucking line that is immediately forgotten because it's not fucking relevant for over fucking 390 pages. And now we're getting told. This is just such fucking bullshit, I swear to God. And now I have the hiccups. It's fucking ridiculous. Kai felt an alien cold radiating from the bars of the cage, something that ate the heat right out of his blood. He set his jaw and concentrated on the cantrip, trying not to think about what Ta-Ren had gone through. It had to be terrible in there. I don't care. These characters are not characters. Kai finished the cantrip and fed a little of that last unlucky mortal life into it. So it only takes a little bit of one single mortal person's life force to open one of these super duper 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 dramatic, so scary and rare and powerful witch cell doors. It's like, it's not even bare minimum going to take every last shred of power Kai has and like everybody he just killed. No, just a little bit of power. Fed a little, just a little. That's all it takes. It's not even difficult. It's just a scribble fucking thing feed a little magical power into it. The door cracked and started to open under his hand. It slammed backward on its hinges so hard, Kai nearly screamed. Ta-Ren stood there, dressed in a filthy tunic and pants, still taller than him even in his new body. Her hands gripped his shoulders. She stared down at him, her brow knit in confusion. A demon. Her voice cracked as if she hadn't used it in far too long. It's me, Kai managed. Ta-Ren. It's Kai, Zidi's Pearl echoed, as she spoke to him and Ta-Ren together. Get up here, there are more idiot lesser blessed, and don't kill your aunt, Immortal Lady. She's helping us. Ta-Ren's expression cleared. She yanked Kai forward, kissed him on the forehead, released him, and blah, 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 and now we're going to the stupid past again. This is such bullshit. The past. The beginning. Again, Electric Boogaloo, let's pretend it's clever. When she's been beating us over the head for the past however many goddamn pages of, look, cinematic parallels, literary parallels, they're going back to where they started. Look at how clever I am. Have I told you how clever I am? They're going back to where they started. Instead of just doing that, she just keeps telling us over and over again, and she's doing it again. Look at this fucking bullshit. The past, the beginning. She's so clever, guys. She's so clever. She has to tell us how clever she is, or she thinks we won't notice that they're Page 398 of 414. None of us understood what the fucking thingamajig. None of us understood that the future hung by a thread that day. We had most of us resolved by then that we would have no future. Terrible writing. Letter found in the Benes Arik archives attributed to Bashasa Callis, but the identification is in dispute. Yeah. This is such bullshit. Please, God, let it be over. Can we be done with this now? I'm scrolling. We're going to have one more chapter in the present that is 3 pages long. It's 1:26 a.m. This video is 2 hours and 40 minutes. I guess I should check if the phone's properly charging. Yes, it is. We don't have to worry about the phone dying. Now we just have to worry about it running out of space. I think it should be fine. Again. He wanted to be here, or rather, he wanted to be here more than he wanted to be dead or a drifting spirit. Again, just pretending that Kai's only fucking options are die or be with these specific people, as though he couldn't just go literally anywhere else in the entire fucking world. He doesn't need to eat. He barely even needs to breathe. He can go anywhere he wants, but Martha Wells is many things. Many bullshit things. Page 397. Oh, I was wondering where my non-soda drink went. Thanks for not knocking my bowl down, kitties. Fuck you, lid. Please, I just want to end this book. Don't let there be any more bullshit. Please don't make me have to stop and explain the bullshit. Please just get this shit done with. Are you just gonna cause problems again? You're just gonna stab me? He just has his foot in front of the camera. Your purr is so cute, though. Just don't use your claws. This is like my new shirt. You're gonna ruin it. No claws. No claws. Can you move your foot? Move your butt. Thank you. Thank you. Scoot your butt. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. You gonna lay down this time? Ouch. We don't even know why these things are called wall walkers, which is, I guess, I stress one word. They haven't climbed a single wall. Why are they called wall walkers? Oh, thank you. Are you actually going to curl up properly? What are you doing? You can't dig into the sofa. Thank you. Thank you. That is perfect. Thank you. Thank you, pretty kitty. Thank you. I can't lean my head down. Oh, he's just going to stab me in the leg now. All right. He's sitting with me like a baby. That is so painful. Oh my gosh. That's so painful. Here. Put your paws on here. Stab that. It's nice and soft for you. That is so much better. Yeah, stab that. You have giant paws, man. I cannot imagine the saddle encasing the part of the top thing on top of this animal where everybody sits. I can't imagine it at all. There's a shit ton of people in here. I don't know how big this animal actually is or how this shit is designed. Is it a shoe puff? Rides the shoe puff? Probably not. See if I can tilt the camera. I think I'll drop it. Oh, nope. He said no, he's leaving me. Okay. You don't want to be on camera? You can't dig into the couch. It's just the couch. It's just between me and the sofa. There's nothing there. You can't stab me. You gotta stab the green cloth so your nails don't... Yeah, alright. Lay down like a big baby. You still gotta stab this. Put your paws on here. Put your paws on here. Yeah. Stab that. Stab that instead of me. Hello. Hello. Maybe you can hear his purr. Want purr louder for you too? You have a loud purr. Maybe they can hear you. Oh. You're just like, nope, that's not actually comfy. Alright. Where are you going? Can you pick? I'm trying to read, man. You're making this so difficult. Are you gonna sit next to me? You sit next to me? You're just gonna come back again? He's making this so difficult, even more than Martha Wells is. Oh my gosh. You can't sit on my arm. That's gonna make my arm fall asleep. You are heavy. Here you go. Put your paws on there. Put your paws on there. We're claiming that Seretti don't directly talk about their emotions and gratitude for some reason. Now on page 399. So close. Mm-hmm. Now I have to figure out how to sit here without my arms falling asleep. Ouch. Ouch. Here. Stab the green cloth, not my leg. No, don't get the book. Don't stab the book. You're a good boy. You're a cutie. You gotta just put the paws on this cloth. On the cloth. On the cloth. Thank you. Ouch. Or I'm gonna have to make you get up. If you don't put your claws on there, you're gonna have to move. What are we talking about? We're just getting a bunch of backstory shit about the Seretti and grandmother that I don't care about, and I'm not going to repeat because I am sleepy. Put your claws on there. Page 400. I don't think we're going to finish this tonight. Ow, my shoulder hurts for now. Yeah, I'm just going to bed. We're on page 401. There's 13 fucking pages left, but I am falling asleep. And this cat sitting here is making my shoulder hurt because I can't put my arm natural. So, bye-bye.